Recording. All right. Hello and welcome to the Global Titan Ambassador info session for the Spring Global Engagement Expo. I'm very excited to be talking about this program with you. Just a bit of housekeeping, some logistics is that this session is being recorded, so hopefully you're okay with that. And so it's being recorded for posterity, and we're going to upload it to the Expo webpage with all of the other session recordings so that students, participants can revisit it in the future and hopefully get to learn about the Global Titan Ambassador program because it's an awesome program. And so it's just us, but still feel free to keep yourself muted so that I don't hear like keyboard typing or children screaming like in the case of my house. And then if you have any questions, you can type in the chat, but we're a small group, so you can also pause, raise your hand, or feel free to like chime in at any time. It's going to be a very intimate conversation. And so again, the recording will be shared via our website. And so yes, so we're still recording. So I'm going to stop that slide and I'm going to switch on over to the actual Global Titan Ambassador PowerPoint now. So, all right, and so here we are. Let me get that up. So, like I said, you're joining us for the Global Titan Ambassador program. We've started shortening it to the GTA program. That's just kind of, that's what our supervisor's been calling it for short, and it's kind of sticking. So the Global Titan Ambassador Program, or the GTA program for short. And so this is part of the Global Engagement Expo Spring 2021. And a little bit about where this program came from. So joining me right now is one of our Global Titan ambassadors, Christine. So she has been a Global Titan ambassador since fall 2020. And so this may be new to her. I don't know if she knew the background of this. Might be a refresher for her. So she can chime in and say, yeah, that's exactly it. Or no, actually, I'm getting a different experience. But so the Global Titan Ambassador or GTA program in my mind, was created for the students. And so a little bit of background to that is that, I studied abroad way back in 2005. All of us in the Study Abroad and Global Engagement Office, or the SAGE office, we're all study abroad participants from decades ago. And there were a lot less resources for us when we were studying abroad, but also when we were coming back. My personal experience was when I came back from studying abroad from London for a whole semester. It was the end of that. I still kept in touch with some of the students, but there wasn't really a transition back. I dealt with things like reverse culture shock for a little bit, just trying to go, it's like going from 60 to 0 real fast. It's like, how do you adjust to that? But eventually that it happened and it was okay. But I think a result of that was something called compartmentalizing, where it's like I took that study abroad experience and I put it in a mental shoebox and I put it in the closet and like never talked about it again. Right. I just went back on to my day-to-day experience. And I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities there to do a lot with those skills and knowledge that I gained from abroad. The second time is that I came back from after I graduated from college. I taught English in Japan on the JET program for 5 years. And so when I returned back to the US, there was a lot more reverse culture shock happening to me at that time, or reentry shock. And I was going through a lot of mental health issues like depression and things like that, because you go through a really big change while you're abroad and you need to deal with that change when you come back. And so when I became a study abroad advisor and I was catching up with students who were also returning, I was hearing a lot of the same issues. Sometimes it was as little as, it feels weird, or things have changed, or my room has changed, or, my relationships with my parents has changed. And sometimes it could be, there were a few students who said the semester they came back, they were depressed that time because so much of them had changed at the time. So ambassador programs now is very commonplace in a lot of campuses and study abroad offices. How we particularly have developed this ambassador program is to focus on the student. And so the power of knowing, owning, and sharing your global experiences and stories helps, again, relieve any reentry shock, whether it's on a scale of 1 to 10. And so that kind of helps ease you back into being back in the US, being home, and giving you an outlet to talk about your new experiences. It also helps in your personal development, and it also helps in your professional development, and we'll get into how. So the GTA program, on the flip side, so it's about the students, but then on the students' part, they help us out by reaching out to and interacting with other Titan students. GTAs are expected to be real. And so for the acronym for that is they are representatives of the Study Abroad and Global Engagement SAGE office. We are part of the Division of Extension and International Programs, and also representatives of the CSUF. So they are volunteers, they have to complete paperwork, and they are on paper as official representatives of our office. They're also expected to set good examples of what a study abroad or study away or global engagement program alumni should be. So we take a look at, how they were as applicants, what they were like as students when they went abroad, when they come back and volunteer with us. Do they set good examples? Are these people that we feel comfortable connecting to prospective students to help them and to set good examples? Um, we encourage them to be advocates for underrepresented populations in global engagement. We do trainings, we have discussions, and we try to really do a lot of activities and initiatives that help support students from different marginalized populations to empower them to pursue global experiences. We also encourage them to become leaders in global education and student engagement at CSUF. So we ask their input. What do they feel students need to feel supported? What are their ideas? And sometimes we take an idea and we give it to them to develop and to run and to execute. So that's a little bit about the introduction and purpose of the GTA program. Some strengths of the program. Is the experience that they have and also professional development. So we do a series of trainings. When we were in person on campus, it was a day-long training. When we went online, it was at least 1 hour a day for 8 weeks. So we split up the day into an hour-long training into weekly meetings. And I think they liked them. I see Christine nodding and saying, yeah. So, because we train them to effectively and respectfully and appropriately engage with the campus community, whether it's students, faculty, staff. There's a lot of knowledge to learn when it comes to study abroad and global engagement. They develop a lot of public speaking skills, I think, especially through the info sessions that they give, organizational skills. They get to learn a little bit about office culture. They get exposed to opportunities whenever we get emails for, programs or free things or special seminars. They're the first ones that we forward them to. And also they come away with glowing recommendations. After a year of helping out the office, it's hard not to know what are the strengths of each ambassador, and that's what we highlight. And so at the end, they're going to have, professional recommendations, not only from me as a supervisor of this program, but also my colleagues who are also working with these ambassadors. Another strength, oops, sorry. Wait, oh no, it went back. Another strength, I think, of the program is the social engagement. Our GTAs really, really enjoy talking to and helping other students. That's a really big reason why they joined this program, is to help students do what they have done. And I've gotten feedback that they really light up. They really like seeing the progress a student has made from when they talk to them about their program initially to seeing them fulfill an application, seeing them in the campus interviews, and then potentially seeing them accepted and make their way towards hopefully going abroad. They also enjoy working with the other GTAs, especially for this particular year. I think they've built a really nice tight-knit unit. They enjoy working with each other, and I often hear that they learn from each other a lot. They get to work with myself and other members of the SAGE staff, some of the networking that's involved. And then another strength is that there's so much room for growth and development. We're only in year 2 of this program, and year by year, we intentionally get better and better. We always like to kind of see where the GTAs would like to take this program. So I think we're leaps and bounds from where the first year was, but even the first year was a really good launching point. So there's room for growth and students get to be a part of that. I want them to drive that development. Again, more strengths of the programs. When I surveyed our current year of GTAs, I said, what 3 words would you use to describe your experience on this program so far? As you can see, there's a lot of positive words, the big one being fun. They just think it's a fun program, which makes me feel good because obviously they're enjoying themselves. They think that it's exciting, refreshing, engaging. They love that it's collaborative, that it's challenging, community building. They're experiencing a lot, the growth, it's a commitment, it's humbling for some, it's informative, enriching, more collaboration again. They're making connections and that it's immersive. So these are all positive things from the 9 ambassadors that we started off with this year. Okay. And so some of the things that the ambassadors have done, they've been busy since the summer. I have a list of things that I have them to do, but we've just been getting requests from all over campus and within our own department for projects. And we've been, asking the GTAs to help us execute these. So one of the things we first got, asked to do was to create a video for the summer orientations for incoming first year students and transfer students. So we recruited our GTAs to help us, and they put together this amazing video, which I have time to show. So I'm going to show it. And so hopefully, oh, no, okay. So I'm going to stop right there and, whoa. Sorry, I'm going to have to click and add it. Let me stop right there real quick and add it. Sorry, my computer's being really slow at the moment. Okay. All right, so let me pause that and then show it to you in just a minute. Okay. All right, and I get to show you this awesome video that they created. Can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Hi, my name is Vanessa and I'm a Global Titans Ambassador at Cal State University Fullerton. Here in the Global Engagement Office, we have a wide range of programs that all students can take advantage of during their time here at CSUF. We offer programs that are as short as 1 week or as long as a year. CSUF students have participated in global programs all over the world in places like Mexico, the UK, Italy, South Africa, South Korea, Japan, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and Cuba. We offer programs that are open to all majors or that are major specific, as well as programs for first-year students to graduate students. There's something for everyone. It's also helpful to note that there are a ton of scholarships available and financial aid may be used to help fund your experience. The Global Engagement Office is also finding more ways to bring the world to you through virtual programs and internships and special on-campus events. Start your journey by visiting our website at extension.fullerton.edu/studyabroad/. It all starts with attending a general information session where you can learn more about the programs we offer and have your questions answered by a Global Titan ambassador like myself who has participated in one of our programs. From there, you can use our website to click the Search Programs button to research different programs offered at CSUF, set up an advising appointment with one of our advisors, drop-in advising is also available, and apply online to one of our programs. Follow us on Instagram at Titans Abroad or on Facebook at CSUF Study Abroad to stay updated with our Global Titan community. As a Global Titan myself, I'm happy to say that studying abroad was the best decision I made during my time at CSUF. It made me realize many wonderful things about the world, and it will do the same to you. But don't just take my word for it. This is what our Global Titans community has to say. So what are you waiting for? Get going.
Yeah, so that is one of my Christine is smiling. Yeah, I love showing that video. I love watching that video. From time to time, I'll come across and be like, that was a good project. I'm very proud of that work. So let me go back to sharing my main screen. Some other things that we did. So that was the orientation video that they completely drove. I just gave feedback and editing ideas, but they put it together and it came together really well. Some other GTA projects that they did, I'm not going to play for it, but it's on YouTube. It's also on our website under International Education Week. They did an event called the Super Bowl. So Christine, actually, do you want to talk about what the Super Bowl was during IEW? And actually, I know Jennifer was there, so you were there. And so, but for the recording, do you want to describe, Christine, how the Super Bowl came together?
Yeah, so IEW, which is International Education Week, so the GTAs and I, and also Eileen, came together. We were thinking an event to do for this with the students and how to interact with them as a campus. So we thought about food initially. So what about food can we talk about that can connect to everybody? So for the Super Bowl event, that was our event idea. We thought about soup as the first thing because it's a comfort food for everybody. Each culture has a different take on soup. So each of us ambassadors decided to talk about our soup stories and even story about soup itself, and collaborating together as a whole, creating this whole project. It was super fun. I loved it a lot. So I miss it, honestly. That was a good time. Eileen, you're on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I miss it because you could tell that the GTAs really had a lot of fun putting it together, but also the recipes and the cooking and the videos, they just looked so delicious. I think for that, like that day, everyone was eating soup at that time. So it was a really fun, creative event that I kept telling people never in a million years would I think to make an event about soup. And yet here we have creative students putting something wild and awesome together that was really, really fun and successful. Something else that, so in the Super Bowl was an example of a pre-assigned or predetermined event that they knew they were going to have to do. Again, sometimes we get projects our way or requests that, you know, we are happy to try to accommodate. And so just before winter break, we were also asked to help with our international student social event. And so we spent winter break working on this global meet and greet for international students to make them feel welcome. And so it was a really nice request because international students are a special population where, you know, given the pandemic, you know, they might be in the US, but far away from family. And so they don't have anybody to connect with on that, or they're, you know, they're connecting with their family via Zoom, whereas some of us, you know, we're housed with our loved ones or our friends or our roommates and things like that. So there was a little bit of disconnection for that, or they were in their home countries taking the Zoom classes. And so it was hard to feel part of the community if you are physically somewhere else. So our task was to really try to bring them in and make them feel part of the CSUF community. And I think our GTAs did a really good job of that. They did icebreakers, we did a fun bingo session. And then what they did was they reached out or tried to reach out to different clubs and organizations, kind of like a little mini Discover Fest just for the international students, and just to start introducing themselves to CSUF students and to clubs. And based on the survey we got, they felt more encouraged and confident to join clubs as a result of that. So that way they're on that path to, become part of the campus community and much more. We get a lot, we're working on another project right now for National Study Abroad Day, which is coming up this month on February 22nd. So they're a busy, busy group. And so what's part of the Global Titan Ambassador? How do you actually join? And so from here, I'm going to take us to the application just to talk a little bit about the requirements, eligibility, how you apply. And so let me go ahead and do that. Or my desktop is a mess. So I want to kind of hide it for a minute. So I'm not going to share my screen there. Okay, and let's take us to the application. Okay, so from here, all right, so I like to start off with the Study Abroad website, which in the Global Titan video was extension.fullerton.edu/studyabroad/. And so to check out any of our programs, you can just go to search programs. And so when you get to our search programs, you're going to change the application type from outgoing because you're not really leaving the country. It's under program enrollment. Okay, and then when you hit search, you have the 3 programs that are technically on campus. So we have the Global Titans Ambassador Program, we have the Global Titans Buddy Program as well, which students can do while they're at Cal State Fullerton, where we pair you up with an international student to kind of help them acclimate. And then we also have a program for faculty and staff. So you would click Ambassador Program. Okay. And so for here, the deadline for this program is going to be April 16th. Oops. So I've got my Teams messages going off. And let me turn those off real quick so they're not chiming. Okay, and so the service to be a Global Titan Ambassador is for a full year. So you would be applying for the 21-22 academic year. And so to apply now, once you see all of this, if you want to go ahead and apply, you can hit the apply now button. If you'd like to request more info, you can hit the request info button down below. But just a little bit is what I said before. And so the GTA program, this is voluntary. So students are not being, there's no remuneration for this. They're not being compensated in any way. It's strictly volunteer, which I think makes, there's a lot of good things to say about our ambassadors, because I always say that, you know, for somebody to dedicate a whole year's worth of their time to this and they're not getting anything back says a lot about who they are and where their heart is and the kind of character that they have. So it's a voluntary program. And they do have to be study abroad and global engagement alumni. So they're either study abroad alumni or study away, which is a program within the US, or they did service learning or an internship or even a virtual program, but they have to have completed some sort of study abroad or global engagement program with us in order to share their enthusiasm, their experience and passion for global education and experiences with the CSUF community. They're often serving as peer mentors, so helping prospective students with their applications, with any questions that they have, sometimes giving them that encouragement, and just sharing their experience. This happens a lot where some ambassadors will often say that sometimes their family was hesitant to let them study abroad. Maybe they needed a little bit of coaxing, and how did you approach, you know, encouraging, getting your family to allow to support you doing that. And so that comes up a lot with our students. And so, yeah, the commitment is for a whole year. This is because with all of the training and onboarding, it takes a while and it's really hard to do that semester to semester. It also changes the dynamics really quickly. And so this team learns to work together really well. They build trust. And so we kind of try to maintain that. So the year commitment has been working really, really well. And so, yeah, so it is a full year commitment. I already talked about the, you know, the roles that they play. So again, it's non-paid, no credit. So they're not getting internship credit for this either. But the trade-off, what they get, which Christine can talk to later when we go through the questions, is they get a lot of, I think, interpersonal skills. They make friends and it's social, but a lot of professional skills. Again, the communication experience, marketing experience, organization, planning, problem solving, and just getting to work with, we think, a very dynamic, fast-paced, high volume, fun office. So again, this is kind of co-curricular. There's no credit to it. The GPA requirement is just 2.75. So some of the requirements, these are the list of things that they have to do. This has been updated for the next year. So some of this might be new, but we do complete orientation. So you do have to do orientation before starting. We do mandatory trainings. We do have meetings, so you have to be available to meet. We usually schedule it around when is most convenient for all of the GTAs. So far, our Fridays at 4 to 5 is like our favorite time of the week, which is crazy. Usually people will want to start to get their weekend going, but this is actually part of the weekend. So we really like our Friday meetings, but that can change with the next cohort. And they complete a minimum. So this is just some of the things that they have to go through, but we get a lot of ambassadors that go above and beyond. So if it says, as an example, if it says give 1 information session a month, they might give 2 that month if they have the time. So our ambassadors always find ways to kind of go above and beyond. But just some of the examples of some of their responsibilities is they are responsible for giving the information session each month. Our info sessions are where students go to just learn about basic program options. What kind of program can their financial aid apply? How does the transferring of credit work? What kind of programs that they did? And it's nice because each info session will start off the same because the information is the same, but then the ambassador goes into their experiences. So Christine often talks about her experience studying abroad at Seijo, whereas another student might talk about going to Cuba. And depending on advising, I might work with a student who wants to go to Japan, so I'll direct them to this info session, or I'll have a student who wants to go to Taiwan, so I'll direct them to another ambassador's info session. They normally help in some way with the summer orientation, whether that's tabling in person, creating videos like I showed you, flyers, or anything else. They help us with our fall and spring programming, whether it's expos like this or our fairs. They create and attend one ambassador-led IEW event, for example, the Super Bowl, which we talked about. They assist with Welcome to Fullerton Day. Surprise, Christine, that's coming up, but I think that's in April. They help us with campus interviews. I think this is a big example of that professional development. They get to see what it's like to be on the other side of the interviewing table, and I think that helps them prepare for interviews in the future. They help with pre-departure workshops whenever we get to have them and when we resume sending students abroad. They do participate in their own re-entry event. There's a lot of re-entry events for students when they come back, whether that's talking about reverse culture shock, going to a resume workshop that helps them work in their experiences into their resume so they can talk about it, or anything like that. They help with social media posts. They have a project they have to complete, something that they identify as a gap or a need in services, and so they can create it, whether it's a social media campaign, a specific info session, an event. It's something that they create. We do reflect on the kind of growth that we're experiencing both in the summer, fall, and spring, and then at the end they complete this portfolio or an e-portfolio so that they have samples of their work for when they launch into the professional world, when they start to go into their careers and things like that. They have samples of things that they've done. So in total, it's about 90 hours minimum for the whole year. So it's spread out. Summer and fall tend to be our busiest, and then spring kind of dies down a little bit. And all of this can change with regards to COVID-19. And so I'm gonna pause right there and put Christine on the spot. Oh, and we've got some other ambassadors joining us, so I'll let them in. But a quick question for Christine is, in balancing the 90 hours or these requirements throughout the year, have you found it manageable?
Yeah, so on top of my school priorities and everything, I found this to be really manageable on top of my other time because I like to keep myself busy. So this one, being part of the ambassador program really helped me like be involved with this campus itself, because I never thought I'll be part of it until now. So I'm having so much fun being part of doing like all these projects, doing social media that I've been doing on the side and creating posts. So it's just been a really fun opportunity, and also meeting everybody in the GTA team as well. So they're worth my time. I love them. I love everybody.
Thank you, Christine. Some incentives for joining the GTA program. So with what we are able to provide for students, they normally receive a certificate of participation, just acknowledging that they were part of this program. I think the biggest thing that they receive, and based on surveys about the incentives that they got, by far, 8 out of 8 said their favorite incentive was the letter of recommendation. So I give them a sample of what they will receive if they ever ask for a recommendation from me, so they know what I would possibly say. Of course, I tailor it to different positions and things, but I think knowing that someone thinks highly of you and can cite examples of your strengths is very powerful going into the workforce. And so when I surveyed the students, did you like these incentives? They really, really loved the recommendation, and being able to have somebody recommend you and write a strong recommendation for you is very, very valuable. In the future, they also have a reference. So if they're, applying for jobs, they can list me and other SAGE members as references because we know how they work. And so that's also invaluable. They get, like I said, professional development opportunities. They get notifications on seminars, conferences, free events, and things like that. They get asked to speak at events sometimes, so that's really good. And then we have a little farewell sort of celebration, whether it's a lunch reception. Last year we had what's called a closing ceremony. It was kind of like a bring your own brunch. I think that's what we did last time. We had I was the only one that brought coffee, but yeah, that's how we were trying to accommodate around COVID. But yeah, we're a very social group and we like to have fun. Some eligibility is that you have to be enthusiastic and committed to helping students study abroad in other countries or away, whether it's in the US and territories, or just participate in those global programs, the virtual programs, the internships, the service learning. You do have to be a current student. So you have to be you have to still be matriculated and working on your degree, whether it's undergraduate or graduate. For the year that you're serving, I need to update the 2020 to 2021. You have to have participated in a SAGE program again. You have to have a cumulative GPA of a 2.75 or higher. And also when you studied abroad, you have to have had a 2.75 at that time. That's going into the being a good example, right? So if you went abroad and totally didn't do very well, you know, we may not want to connect you to somebody or connect somebody to you as an example. You have to be in good academic and disciplinary standing. And one of the most important characteristic things is be coachable and able to receive and incorporate feedback. This is about professional development and helping, and we work in teams. And so that's probably one of the most important things that I look for when selecting who will be a GTA, because not everybody always makes it. So we went through this in the slide. We also have some testimonials and some feedback from some of our past and current GTAs on the slide if you'd like to look. The application process, built into the application when you start, which you can do when you apply now, there are 3 volunteer forms you'll need to fill out because again, you will be on record as being a volunteer with CSUF. You need to make, this one's different. So you will need to submit a video to tell us about yourself. So your name, your year, your major, anything else you want to share, the SAGE program you did, whether it was a summer program, virtual program, etc., the impact it had on you. What you think being a quote unquote global Titan means and why you're applying to be a Global Titans ambassador and how you plan to serve. So this used to be the essay, but we do a lot of video work and things like that. And it's nice to kind of hear and see people talk about their experiences. So this is now this year taking the place of the essay. So you get to put this in video. And I think students get to be more creative. Being creative is a big part of the ambassador program. Even if you don't start off with a high level of creativity, you develop it. And so this is just a kind of way to kind of get you started. We do ask for a brief sample outreach and recruitment proposal. So again, going back to the idea of what do you think students need to feel encouraged, supported, motivated, inspired to participate in a SAGE program? Is it more awareness? Is it social media? Is it access to things? Give us your ideas. We do look for a recommendation from a non-student member of the campus community. So it could be a faculty member, it could be your advisor. If you work in the bookstore, it could be, you know, your supervisor for that. It could be your RA, or yeah, resident director. And so, yeah, as long as it's not like your classmate or anything like that. There is an interview because we want to get to know you. And I think interviewing is just huge professional development. And then also a copy of your unofficial transcripts to verify your GPA. And so if you have any other questions, you can contact me. My email is there. And again, the deadline for the next coming term is April 6th, so mid-April, April 16th. Yeah, so that's the breakdown of the program, how it got started, what you have to do, the commitment, and how you apply. So now I'm going to, oh, not this slide. I am going to turn it over to the GTAs who have joined, and we're going to now do the Q&A session of this info session. And so let me take a look here. So we start off with Christine, but now we're also joined by Lauren and Monique. And so I'm actually going to, hi everybody. So I'm going to give them all a chance to officially introduce themselves. I don't think I let Christine introduce herself. So no, we did it. So I'll let Christine start off, followed by Lauren and Monique. So go ahead, Christine.
Hi guys, my name is Christine. I'm a Global Titans ambassador. I am studying studio arts and Japanese. I'm currently a senior, and I got a chance to go to study abroad in State University back in 2018 with my good friend and also Ambassador Lauren. So I look forward to seeing new faces to the group, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Christine. Lauren, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Christine and I have the cutest intro because we can say that every time. I'm Lauren. I studied abroad at CSUF University with, of course, Christine from 2018-2019 academic school year. My major is Japanese. I'm minoring in public relations. I'm also a Global Titan ambassador. When I'm not doing that, you can catch me at the CSUF Gaming Esports Club. But other than that, yeah, nice to meet you. Hope you join the team.
Last and not least is Monique.
Hello, my name is Monique, and I studied in winter session 2020. I did a traveling seminar, which was department-led program in Morocco, Spain, and France. I'm a senior this year, and one thing I like to do is drive around and go to different grocery stores.
Nice. I always find out something new and unique about Monique. I also like to do that as well, actually. Awesome. So I've got the questions up on the screen here. And so we'll just take turns probably in the same order that we went. So question one is, so how did you find out about the GTA program? Because it's not super well advertised, which is my fault. And so how did you come across it?
Okay. For me, for the GTA program, I had a friend who was in the GTA program before that, the year before. So she told me about all these really cool experiences, like you can get close with students, do info sessions and about study abroad. You can also connect with international students too, because we helped out one of our friends, and I'm like, I want to do something like this. So I really want to be part of it. And I also heard Lauren was part of it too. So I was like, I really want to sign up, and I thought this was going to be a great opportunity. Yeah.
Thanks, Christine. Segue to Lauren. Lauren, how did you find out about the GTA program?
You know, I've been having to rack my brain thinking back that far, but I think I found out about it through an email because I followed up with oh, you know what? No, originally I had found out about it, I think the year before, and I talked to Jim Kim, who's also in the Sage office, and I was too late to apply, but I remembered and I got the email, you know, the next year, and I decided to apply for it. So it was mainly through email, I think, but also through talking to Sage members.
Awesome. Thanks for your persistence, Lauren. We're so glad you're on the team.
I'm really fighting.
Well, she remembered. It's like, I'm not going to miss it the next time. And so she's part of it, and I'm very glad. All right, Monique, how did you find out about the GTA program?
Well, it all started 2 years ago. I was actually wanting to become more engaged in the international office, what is now Sage. And I went to Juim's office hours actually and asked her, like, what can I do? I want to become part of you. And she's like, you can become a volunteer now, global buddy, Titan buddy. And I also missed the deadline for becoming an ambassador. So I'm like, oh, rats, I'll just do what I can. So fast forward a couple months, and then I studied abroad during the winter session. And after I came back, Eileen came to me. She's like, you know, you should apply. And I'm like, And so I thought about it for quite a few months. And then finally, like a week before the deadline, I'm like, hi, me again. Can I please still apply? And somehow it was still open. And I'm so glad I made that decision. And thank you, Eileen, for following up.
Thank you, all of you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So advisors are key to that. We try to tell everybody in our advising session, but we're also trying to make it a thing now. So we're trying to have the word spread beyond, word of mouth from the advisors. So that's good to know. So thanks, everybody. So question number 2 is going to be, why did you decide to be a GTA? So I think we talked about it a little bit when we were talking about how, but what was driving you to want to, quote unquote, be part of the global community or be more involved or things like that? Christine?
So I decided to become a GTA because I noticed throughout the whole time since I came back from Japan, I was always talking about my study abroad opportunities. And everyone was asking like, oh, really? Like they're always asking me questions about it. And I'm like, I want a specific place and time, like where I really want to show to everybody. Because I felt like every time I repeated my story, I'm like, I want more people to know, not just one person maybe, but everybody. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a GTA. And also for professional development, I'm really wanting to improve my social skills. I'm some sort of an introvert. And I really wanted to push it further and, you know, be part of the community and speak out and be more social with everybody. So yeah.
Thanks, Christine. Lauren, how about you?
I think that like I could probably use a lot of Christine's answers for my own. I wanted to find like an environment where I could talk about my experiences. Um, like probably many other ambassadors, like a lot of like Christine too, you know, I've found myself talking about my experiences a lot and I wanted to be able to talk about it in a place where it was not only like understood, but I could also share that information. And then I wanted to keep that energy that I had when I was studying abroad. I wanted to be able to, you know, stay a part of that community. I saw people at my own study abroad university doing stuff like that, you know, interacting with international students. And it was so much fun. And I really just wanted to be a part of something like that. And then as well as professional development, because I think that that's a really important, you know, skill that we have to develop as well. So
Good. And Monique.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. What really pushed me to become an ambassador is to be able to gain those transferable skills while doing something I'm so passionate about. So like public speaking, networking with other club members and students and peers, and the group work, just being able to really solidify what could my contribution be in a group. This is definitely something we'll take wherever we go next. And it's a joy to be a part of because I love learning about other cultures and getting to know other people too.
Thanks, Monique. All right. What's your favorite thing about being a GTA? I see Christine thinking.
There's so many things. Being part of GTA, like I love having or being in GTA, I love talking to students. It's that personal connection and interacting part. I love being sociable and telling about my experiences. I also love that we have a community like we built here with everybody talking about experiences and also learning from each other too. So that's one of my favorite things. I can't say one thing specifically since there's so many things about it I like about GTA. So.
Thank you, Christine. What about you, Lauren?
yeah, for me also, community is a huge part of it for me. But I'll touch on something too that maybe other people won't. And I really like being on a team that functions as a team. I think it's given me a lot of good experience on being part of like something that can create really great things from working with other people. And I don't know, some people in, you know, work situations, maybe they have teams that they don't like, maybe they have teams that they do. I love my team. So it's been a great experience, like a great introduction into like what working in like an environment like this would be like with people with similar mindsets to me. So that's one of my favorite things, I think, is that experience of being able to, you know, grasp that.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. That speaks highly of the other GTAs too, so that's good. And what about you, Monique? What's your favorite thing?
Let's see. I would say I've found a lot of times to flex my creativity, and with either social media posts, this is maybe a later question, but one of my favorite things was doing the Instagram story of my experience. It was so fun to put that in a visual context and like, oof, so good. So that's something I learned in this program, but also just like everyone else was saying, each person's strengths can be contributed, and that's what makes it function so well.
Awesome. Thank you. And you reminded me. So first of all, I forgot that you all did that. Yes, you all did. They all did an Instagram takeover when we were introducing the new cohort. So they had to talk a cohort. So they had to talk about their programs themselves, and they all did a great job. And I remember Monique was really nervous about doing the social media because you told me that social media wasn't something that you were strong in yet. And so I'm glad to hear that you actually enjoyed that part and that you got to be creative and create that visual. So yay. Thank you, Monique, for sharing that. Okay. So we've got 2 more questions left. And so the next one is, how has being a GTA benefited you, either academically, personally, professionally, or how any other way? So what have you gotten so far out of being a GTA?
So for me personally, and I guess academically and professionally, it all ties together, but one of my big weaknesses is public speaking because I always get super like nervous before an interview or info session, just talking to people because I'm super shy initially because I tend to like look away like, oh, I'm so sorry. But now that I built the confidence and, got to talking to so many people from so many different backgrounds, that has been the biggest benefit, just improving myself and also my personal skills throughout for the GTA program. So.
Good, thanks. And we do a lot of public speaking, a lot.
But I love it. It makes me try to think more clearly and try to say things not out of my head all of a sudden. It's more like straightforward, like get to the point. So I really appreciate all the projects and events we've been doing, like this one right now.
Good. Excellent. What about you, Lauren?
I feel like I already answered this in the last question, but really I feel like working on the team has been very beneficial to me. But I might also include, because I work on teams in the CSUF esports and gaming program, it has given me a better perspective on what it's like to work with different teams and like different styles of like leadership that you need to take with different groups of people. So for me, this in combination, I think, with my other experiences has been like really enlightening in that sense of like a professional environment. So that's for me.
Definitely. Those are like the 2 high, like I think come up a lot, right? Public speaking and teamwork. You're gonna those skills come up a lot in careers, and you're going to need them. And I'm glad that those are the 2 that you're getting exposed to a lot. Monique, how about you?
This year, I've really enhanced my time management skills. It probably wasn't the smartest thing to have 2 jobs in school, but thankfully school kind of settled down a little bit. Anyway, being able to section off Friday, having our time just to focus on Global Titan Ambassador programs and what we're going to do next. It was nicely managed how we would have like 1 event per month, just about. So we'd have something to strive for, we'd accomplish it, and then move on to the next thing. It wasn't too overwhelming for me.
Good. I'm glad to hear it's spread out. It like we emphasize, it's manageable. It's a lot of things. It's manageable, but it's also based on your time. You get to choose when you do your info sessions. You get to sign up for whatever event. We're flexible with how you participate in things. But that time management piece is also another really great skill. Man, I'm so excited for you all because I think a really good thing that Monique shared is, as adults, you all have commitments. And how do you balance that? And the fact that this is a voluntary, non-paid position, and Monique felt, that she had to find a way to make sure that she made time for it, speaks volumes. And that's something that goes in that recommendation, so awesome. Thanks for sharing that. The last question is open mic. Is there anything else you'd like to add or say about being a GTA or the GTA program as a whole? Like, what would you want people to know about it? What do you want to share?
One thing I thought of also is with these public speaking times of sharing our info sessions, it's with peers who really care about what you're saying and they want to know more. It's not like a classroom presentation where they could just zone out when you're talking. They're engaged, they want to ask questions, and that just spurs you on more to like meet their level of engagement, try to answer their questions. You end up finding out more because you follow up with people who know more about the program. And that just keeps heightening your skills to be able to speak on the next info session.
I have a follow-up question to that, Monique. How does it personally feel when you talk about your experience and someone shows interest and wants to know more about what you did or how they can do it too? How does that feel for you?
It fills a void.
It fills a void.
Especially if like your family maybe has heard the stories a couple times. I still want to share. There's still more. There's still the passion, the fire. And it makes you feel like things are coming full circle, that you can inspire the story to help other people.
Does it feel like your experience matters to somebody?
Yeah, definitely. That I matter. Oh.
Yay! Of course you matter, and your experience matters to somebody. Did anybody else want to go ahead and jump in? Lauren?
Yeah, something I didn't touch on, or I don't think we touched on, was this gave me a great, well, I guess we did a little bit. It just gave me a great sense of community during COVID. I feel like a lot of students, they don't have anything else going on other than school or work, and they don't have anything else to put their mind on. I did the opposite. I like tried to put as much on my plate as I could. And I feel like it really gave me that attachment that maybe a lot of other students are missing to school and to like your passion and to like to give you some motivation to keep doing something. So I don't know what it's going to be like next year. I know that they're considering doing on campus classes, but I will say that like it gives you something to like be a part of, and I think that's really important in terms of connecting you to the school and like to keeping you going, something positive. So I really like that about the program.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. And actually, I agree. Yeah, I think we talked about in the summer where it was like, wow, these because the meetings during the summer were weekly because we were going through so many trainings, and then to accommodate for busier schedules and classes, they became every other week on Fridays. And so yeah, the weekly meetings helped me get through that summer. It gave me something to look forward to. So thank you. Christine, bring us home.
To be honest, everyone hit it home really hard because our stories and us as a community and a team just being together always was something for everybody, and also for me to look forward to at the end of the day and the week from all our busy schedules. So I'm so happy, and I'm also happy to meet every one of you just being here. I wish the whole team was here, so I'd be like, oh my God, where is everybody?
We're all busy.
We're here, we need compliments. I love everybody. So it was especially with COVID, it's been so crazy. Everyone here has done an amazing job doing amazing work, and also being the best people and helping them out, me and team as a whole, as a team together.
Thank you, Christine. I'm so glad. And so that was the nice thing about COVID is that it forced us to adapt, make changes, get things done. And I already was starting to do Zoom earlier in 2020 with some events, but when we couldn't meet at all, we were able to use Zoom and meet this way. And what one of the other GTAs kind of pointed out was like, we have this strong community. We haven't even met each other in person yet. It's all been via like screen. And so the fact that you can get a lot done that way and build relationships that way means that distance, while nice, is not a barrier to making relationships. So we're going to continue to do that. I see something in the chat. Somebody put, I always miss things in the chat. Oh, you've met in person. Oh, wait, you ran into each other, right?
I met her in my drive-through, and then of course, I know Christine. So I think that's so funny.
That's funny. Yay! Okay, well they've met. So hopefully we'll get together in person as well. But that was something we were missing last time because I felt like, oh, everybody can't be on campus at one time to meet. So we didn't have meetings with I don't think they met very much. There were some ambassadors that met like the last day of the program, but they've been meeting regularly since day one of this year, and it shows. So thank you everybody for your time. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here. It's very exciting. And so if you have any other questions, let us know. I know you know some of the ambassadors, so feel free to get to know the program some more. And even for anybody, even if they can't volunteer as an ambassador, we have lots of other opportunities to get involved in the office. The Global Titan Buddy program is another great program they can be part of. We've got one-day volunteer opportunities. If you become an alumni, we always call alumni back to be on panels. So I think volunteering for things is a appreciated task. It's how I got my foot in the door in my careers, is just learning and just saying, hey, how can I help? And so I like to see that it's been benefiting everyone so much. One more thing in the chat. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so that was for you. All right. Any questions for the ambassadors that you want to put in the chat or anything like that, or anything you want to say?
I guess like regarding this program, it sounds really fun, but I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, well, because I know you, and so
Yeah,
you might be graduating soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But that's
so if you
yeah.
graduate like midway through it, then you can't do it, right?
Well, it does have to be the full year, unfortunately, because of those things that we talked about, like the training and things like that. But, you know, like I said, there's way other ways to also get involved. So you don't necessarily have to be under the like official GTA umbrella. We've got like other, because you, crossing fingers, you study abroad. You know, we might call you back to be an alumni on a panel. We do that a lot. And so don't feel like if you're not a GTA that you can't volunteer. We always need help. We need a help beyond the ambassadors as well sometimes. So don't be shy in saying, how can I help? You know?
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Cool. Well, that's it for us. We are at time, and I want to thank everybody for your time. And I will see you all either in advising or pre-departures or in our every other week meeting. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you. Bye, Eileen.
Thank you. Bye, Eileen.
Bye.
Bye.